what was the review like of the Collingwood game in the end?
Yeah, look, obviously post game, I spoke pretty, clearly around that we were really disappointed and upset with in terms of the result. But when you break the game down, there was a lot to like in the game. There's no doubt in the last few weeks, I think we're playing some of our better footy. For large parts of the game, we dominated from a statistical point of view, and there's some things to really like in our game. Clearly, there were some things how we minimised some momentum against us, but also 17 entries in the first half was a real positive against us, but to have 8 goals kicked against us was something that we looked at. So, ability to maximise our time in our half of the ground and obviously minimise the impact of the opposition was 2 things that we looked at.
So with 2 weeks left before the finals, it's more about sort of just tuning up a bit, I guess, tweaking a few things before getting to September to play your best footy then?
Yeah, look, we think we're tracking in the right direction. The last month we've played some really strong footy. Our last 2 games have been really consistent in terms of our contest around the ball. Our ability to hit the scoreboard and score is not a massive issue for us. It's just building all that together as one and playing some really dominant style of footy. And we feel like we're right in that process right now. And we've got some big games coming up, no bigger than Carlton this week. And we're looking forward to that. We think we're building really nicely.
No Patrick Cripps for Carlton, obviously, this week, assuming they don't appeal. What did you make of that situation and the contest?
Look, it's probably not for me to comment. He's a good player and obviously he's going to miss our game, but they're missing a few guys through their midfield, so it's going to be a different sort of midfield mix that they'll have to play against us than what we played them in the JLT earlier in the year. So that takes a little bit of guesswork for us about how they might sit up and the personnel they might have moving through there. But clearly he's a very good player. It was certainly a big contest in the game, and obviously got the suspension that he got.
Is this the team you're going to go forward into finals with, Simon? I couldn't imagine there being too many personnel changes.
No, we're really comfortable with sort of where our team's sitting at the moment. We've clearly got a lot of pressure from guys from underneath, but in terms of the type of player and the personnel that's sitting within the team, we're really comfortable. And as I said, the last couple of weeks, we've played some of our best footy for the year. We've dominated in certain areas of the game. We played a really dominant game against Fremantle. And last week there was periods of the game where it was a cracking game, 2v3, and we had our momentum for big parts of that game and gave ourselves a great chance to win the game. So there's a lot to like in the way we're going. We just got to execute a little bit better, and the results will be different.
And is the defence your whole system of defence going as well as you'd like?
Oh, that's certainly an area that's to work on. I thought against Fremantle it was incredibly strong. On the weekend it wasn't as strong. We lost some contests behind the ball, and as I said, so it was some unbelievable team defence to keep an opposition that's now second on the ladder to 17 entries in a half of footy. That's playing some really good defensive footy. The challenge is that of those 17 entries, 8 turned into goals based on some ability to win contests behind the ball. So that's rare for us. That doesn't happen too often. But from a defensive element, to keep a team to 17 inside 50s is very strong.
With the Blues missing Cripps, Kennedy and Hewitt are still out. Obviously their contest has been a strength, but without those guys it hurts a bit. What are the biggest challenges in beating Carlton when you've got the 2 big guys up front as well?
Yeah, clearly, they've got the 2 big guys up front, so their ability to win clearance and give those guys good looks forward to centre is something that we're going to have to be really conscious of. They've still, even without those guys in, they've had some good ability to win some of those numbers in and around the footy and get some good looks going forward. And you can see on the last week's game in the last quarter, they got some great run and drive off their half-backs. Sard and Doherty, when they get the ball in hand, are really potent, and they join in and they create great looks for their big forwards inside 50s. So they've certainly got some weapons. They've got some challenges. Those 2 big boys up front are players that we need to make sure we can control and limit their influence on the game.
Simon, just in terms of any potential changes, is Jake Bowie someone you're looking at trying to get back into the team, given he was an important part of your premiership campaign?
Yeah, look, he's gone back to the VFL and played some really strong footy, so he's got himself back into AFL calculations. There's no doubt about that. He's gone back. He wasn't in the best form. He's gone away and worked on some things in his game, and he's AFL ready. So now it's when that opportunity arises, whether it's this week or in the next few weeks, we know that he's ready to come back and play some good AFL footy for us.
Been reported that you met with Brodie Grundy recently. Is he someone that you're interested in potentially for next season?
Oh, it's a good story, and I certainly understand the questioning. But I've been pretty clear with this over a number of years. I'm not going to speculate and talk about players from opposition clubs. It's something that we don't do. Clearly in our industry, people are going around looking at how they can potentially improve their lists in the years going forward. But to be honest, that's not my focus at the moment. My focus is purely on Carlton this week and how we play our best footy and how we continue to build our current season that we've got now. And as I said, I understand the question and the story that goes with it, but it's certainly not for me to comment on players from opposition clubs and how we go about our business there.
So you're not willing to confirm or deny the meeting, Simon?
No, I'm not, mate.
In a broader topic around that, is there contingency planning that's now aren't being sought with the possibility that Luke Jackson might leave and you need to plan for that and possibly scour the market for someone who could be a replacement?
If you look at list all the time, and if you look at list management all the time, you've got contingency plans for a whole range of different things that sit within your environment, whether that be staff, whether that be players, whether that be a whole range of things. And we've spoken about Luke a lot. We're going to give him the most amount of time for him to make his decision, and we don't know what that decision is at the moment. So we'll continue to build contingencies. We'll continue to work with Luke and giving him the best environment possible to want to stay here. And Luke will make that decision when the time's right. But as a club and as an organisation, as a business, you look at all positions, whether that be staff, players, department, a whole range of things of contingencies about how you're best going to move forward in the future.
Simon, just on Saturday, the women are playing a curtain raiser. Is that something you'd like to see more of? Where do you see that going in the future?
I think it's inevitable. I think it's going to be good for our game. To have curtain raisers back, to have AFLW back involved in line with the AFL season is going to continue to progress forward in the next few years. And I think it's great for our supporters to come in early to the game, embrace what's in front of them, and to see two Melbourne teams playing at the MCG. It's going to be great for our game. Not only this weekend but moving forward in the future.
Thanks, Rick. Simon, going forward, is that two ruck setup something you works for Melbourne and you want to continue beyond this season? Do you think?
So, what was the question again?
The two ruck setup, when you play two rucks, is that the Melbourne style that continues beyond this season, and then that's why you need to plan for contingencies?
I think if you look at what's been happening this year, and especially in the last month, Luke Jackson's been able to play on the ruck for us, and you can see Max Gawn's having a big impact for us forward to centre. So, Gawn is looking more and more dangerous as a forward, and it's something that we've liked in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and it's something we'll continue to pursue. So, two rucks is something, with the right mix will work for us.